Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Denise Wong.
And I am Noah Bond. A group of Nevada lawmakers is working on a bill called Fairness in Women's Sports.
It would effectively separate players based on the sex they were assigned at birth.
Well, I talked with Nevada lawmaker, a former female athlete, and a University of Nevada Reno professor representing our local transgender community to bring you this report.
More and more people are speaking out in support of female athlete safety after witnessing plays like this one. According to the co-founder of Icons, or the Independent Council on Women's Sports, Marcia Smith, you just saw a transgender volleyball player for a Washoe County high school spike the ball in a girl's face.
We try to educate the public and build awareness on really the reality of how pervasive this is across all levels of sports.
Some parents are outraged because they say the transgender participation position adopted April 6th of 2016 and enforced in Washoe County schools today is putting their daughters at risk of injury.
Essentially, there are many parents whose daughters are competing in Washoe County volleyball right now who are outraged, don't know what to do, but are also fearful of coming forward.
Icons has thousands of members across the nation and nearly 25,000 followers on its X account, formerly known as Twitter.
We knew based on firsthand accounts from athletes reaching out to us desperate for help and awareness about what they were going through.
Nevada Assemblyman Burt Gurr of District 33, representing Elko, Ely, and 5 counties, says the bill he's drafting would separate players based on the sex they were assigned at birth in Nevada sports if it becomes law. It was first introduced in 2023 as AB 374, but he says it was blocked by every Democrat in the state of Nevada, even though it was supported by every Republican.
It's just scary for a lot of these kids, girls, to go into a locker room with a fully developed biological male and have to undress with them and be there. I truly don't want to hurt any transgender people in this. This has nothing to do with one side or the other. This has to do what's right and fair. Title IX was built so women could have their own sports. And I think that's where we ought to keep it.
Is a transgender female or a biological male physically the same as a biological female?
I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to say in my experience, absolutely not. The boys are definitely stronger, bigger. They have bigger hearts. They have bigger esophaguses. Their muscle mass is different.
But Dr. Alan Ratliff, who teaches a course on gender and sexuality at the University of Nevada and empowers students to address marginalization and vulnerability, has a different opinion.
What we do know from the science about transgender bodies is that once a transgender woman has been taking puberty blockers and hormones for 1 to 2 years, that her performance outcomes are pretty similar, if not the same, as cisgender women.
Dr. Ratliff says looking at the world from the point of view of a transgender athlete changes everything.
There is a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding about transgender people. And we know that when transgender young people are included, they're able to participate in school, participate in sports, participate in their community lives, that improves their mental health and it prevents some of the negative things that we see experienced by transgender young people. So, I mean, just to be clear, transgender youth experience the highest rates of depression and suicide of any known group of young people, any. So if we're thinking about who's vulnerable here, we're really talking about transgender young people being vulnerable.
Some people would say that your stance and policy is hateful because it's keeping transgender players from being in a place where they feel loved and belong. What's your response to that?
Women and girls, coaches, athletes, parents do not need to apologize in any way for defending fair treatment and fair competition for their daughters. There's nothing shameful about standing up for the rights of women and girls in sports.
Breaking free of restricting stereotypes or ending unfairness in female sports, empowering transgender athletes with peers to reduce suicide rates, or endangering young female athletes like University of Nevada volleyball players are saying. 2 paths society is willing to explore and debate, but it seems only one can prevail.
Assemblyman Gurr expects to have the Fairness in Women's Sports bill drafted in December or the 1st of January. Now, if you support separating athletes based on the sex they were assigned at birth, let Assemblyman Gurr know by emailing him at bert.gurr@asm.state.nv.us. Now, if you support transgender athletes playing where they feel most comfortable, email the transgender advocate, Jessica Munger, at jessica@silverstateequality.org. Now, she can get your opinion to Democratic lawmakers in Nevada. You can find both emails in this report at colotv.com. It's at the bottom.